Take your time.
Haruhi was your close friend and she lied to you. How can you possibly come to terms with a betrayal like that?
People sometimes do things that aren't in line with their values. Haruhi was a woman of peace, but she still killed people. Skell had a dream for utopia and built hell. Honestly, I can't say I know what to believe in anymore.
Sometimes it's difficult to defend our actions. Things aren't always black and white. All you can really do is appease your conscience.
Even when that conscience is misguided?
Even then, sometimes it's the only thing you've got. I hear what you're saying.
I need to keep going. I just have to be more pragmatic from now on.
Still don't get how Skell could be interested in both Maddox and you. You're like night and day.
I would have said the same. Maddox was my opposite in every way, but here we are, both working on controlling killer drones.
Well, that's hardly a resemblance.
Still goes to show how stars can realign, given the right circumstances. Skell always was the kind to trust his instincts.
Doesn't matter if you're doing the same things. The motivation behind them make all the difference.
I left my noble intentions behind a long time ago.
So how do you really feel about Project Deus?
Project Deus is a sect. Almost a cult. It's ridiculous.
Oh?
There are no gods in machines. Computers are tools, nothing more. They obey and carry out what we will of them.
Don't hold back now.
It's infuriating. Sadly, there is a certain power in what Maddox is trying to do. She has influence, and it has gotten her far.
What happens next?
I don't know. She's unstoppable when she puts her mind to something. All we can hope for is divine intervention before things get dangerous.
The virus Skell is developing. You think it'll work?
It's definitely coming out of left field, that's for sure.
That he would want to destroy his work?
He was so attached to those drones. I've never known him to be this pragmatic.
But will it work?
The virus is a wild card, but we have no other options. It has to.
Okay. So, what is World 2.0? I mean, what is it to you?
Imagine if you had the power to solve all of the world's problems through technology, innovation, and sustainable development. World 2.0 is an opportunity for us to re-establish the link between mankind and the environment.
So, a utopia.
A utopia is unrealistic. Do I dream of a perfect world? Yes, but I'll settle for a better one. The joy of people coming together to achieve something bigger than themselves. That's the goal. A place where everyone can be the best version of themselves.
You make it sound lovely. Hey, Madeira, you know anything about the composite factory? The one in Smuggler Coves?
Yes, that's where they produce all the raw materials needed to build the drones. All of the alloys, plastics, and composites. You know, like carbon fiber and epoxy. It all happens in that factory. It plays a pretty vital role in the process and manufacturing of the drones.
How are they able to get all of those materials and resources?
They're extracted from the local mines and then reprocessed. It's a pretty effective system they've developed over there, actually.
That open pit mine in Mount Hodgson seems pretty unusual for a place like this.
It's not that unusual, actually. All the mines of Aroa are open-pitted. There are a lot of mines on other islands, but Aroa is really a geological anomaly. We have such an extremely high concentration of minerals that open-pitted mining made the most sense. Of all the different types of mining methods, it has the highest yield. I don't love the impact it has on the landscape or the environment, but it's the most cost-effective choice.
Those mines seem ripe for exploitation and profit.
They are. The brain matter of the drones, the very motherboards and electronics, are crafted from the minerals of those mines. It's simply an invaluable resource.
The tech on this island is really something else. I didn't realize 3D printing had gotten so sophisticated.
What you've seen is just the tip of the iceberg. Seriously? I'm thrilled with what's on the horizon. The printing alone, it's nothing short of remarkable. I'm so stoked about it.
What's the latest?
Basically, all they need are the raw materials, and they can produce pieces that surpass anything I've ever seen in traditional mass production. Properties like elasticity, thermal resistance, density. This printer of theirs can match it perfectly.
I can tell it's something you're really passionate about.
You have no idea. This is revolutionary. Seriously, all they need to do is imagine a specific part, feed the design into the computer, and the printer can produce it in a matter of minutes. The possibilities are endless.
That does sound pretty remarkable. There's a recycling facility on Aroa, yeah?
There sure is. Skell had this vision of making Aroa completely autonomous and self-sufficient. The recycling program was right at the heart of that. Almost everything here can be recycled and reused.
What about the things that can't be recycled?
Well, there are a few vintage objects, hazardous elements and pieces that can't be directly recycled. Those things are sent by autonomous ships to the Windy Islands. It's a cluster of small islands, just south of the archipelago. There's a more robust recycling center there. It's mostly deserted.
Which is probably why the outcasts decided to set up their base there.
That makes sense. It's an ideal location, really.
Stay safe.
You too.
was passing one of the ancient villages the other day.
I suppose you got tricked into inviting private military contractors into Aroa.
Well, I mean, not exactly. We're self-governing.
You used to be.
Okay, we used to be. We needed security. Not just as a police force, but as security. At least that's what Miles got me to finally admit.
Against pirates in the moment and such.
Our drone security was limited. It still is. If unauthorized people land, we would know about it, but we couldn't do anything about it.
You're obviously not afraid of squatters. You were afraid of corporate spies.
We do get spies from time to time. Don't tell the shareholders, but the more our tech discoveries are disseminated throughout the world, the better off it'll be. But I was worried about the safety of our staff, the bombing. I just never imagined the antibiotics would be more deadly than the illness. Sentinel snuck a private army into the abandoned U.S. military complexes. Stone's been planning this takeover from day one. My colleague, Ayana Puri, who dealt with this, certainly has a better picture.
This guy Trey Stone doesn't make things easy.
He always seemed kind of ambitious. He and Walker always had some friction.
Walker mentioned Stone before, but never in a friendly way. I take it he isn't very likable.
He's a creep, but I've had to work with all kinds of people before. Sometimes you tolerate jerks just because they get the job done.
Did he get the job done?
I don't actually know. He kind of insulated himself. As a subcontractor, I couldn't supervise him the way I did other people. I had to trust Walker when he said things were going well.
Hey, what's the deal with this chick on all the video screens? Ayana Puri.
Yeah, my CFO.
I guess she's just, fulfilling her regular job duties, sharing the company news.
Yeah. Did you see the one where she said I was crazy? Having a mental breakdown or something?
It's not a bad propaganda campaign.
She's not as smart as she thinks she is. Her strategies were always traditional. She's never had any real vision.
So why keep her?
She seems so genuinely concerned about the employees' welfare. Now I see she's just playing office politics. She's more clever than smart. She's effectively taken over as CEO.
Hey, did Fox tell you who his inside source might be? Now, I don't want to press him. I'm not even 100% that he has one. But if that source gets into trouble, he could need someone to help out.
He hasn't told me, and I doubt he would respond well to a man with a gun asking him the question.
Hey, you don't have to tell me. Just as long as you know.
I don't know. And it's not like him to be quiet about anything. I mean, the things that guy told me about his ex-wife, it was like listening to a guy describe a squid eating a chocolate birthday cake. Nobody needs to hear that.
So if he is keeping this secret, it must be pretty big.
Must be.
That outcast bombing must have hit you pretty hard.
Maybe you read about it. I lost my wife in the September 11th attack on the World Trade Center.
Sorry. I didn't know. I guess I can't blame you for bringing in Stone and Sentinel.
Do you know what it feels like to lose someone?
Yeah, I do.
You get all torn up inside. You get to feel like you're falling, but it's an endless fall. You grab hold of anything you can.
So what am I grabbing hold of now?
I don't know. Us. We need you, Nomad. But you probably need us every bit as much.
Hey, I've been hearing about that World 2.0 stuff. And maybe the world needs a software patch. But a utopia? Really?
People out there in the rest of the world, they think the Earth's dying. They have this belief in scarcity. They think that we'll run out of energy, out of space, or out of water, or anything. And that makes every day a crisis.
And World 2.0 would fix that crisis?
It was more about fixing that mentality. I wanted to show the rest of the world that with innovation, with creativity, and with a little courage, it's easy to see the universe as abundant.
And how about now?
It's still an abundant universe. That hasn't changed. Just, I thought I could keep out jealous people. And the cowards.
No getting away from them.
No. I'm probably not as brave as I want to be either.
How did you buy Aroa in the first place?
I didn't buy it. I leased it. Aroa is technically part of New Zealand, but the U.S. had leased it for years.
Yeah. That's why there's the old naval station. But wouldn't it have been easier to rent a chunk of California or something? I'm sure there's a big stretch of Mojave that nobody wants.
Yeah. The abandoned naval station here piqued our interest initially, hoping we could piggyback on the Cold War infrastructure. That was a wash. But once we had visited Aroa, its biodiversity won us over. Good Hope Mountain has ice, Infinity is surrounded by fields, and the swamps of Finnbog sport as harsh conditions as any good drone tester could wish for. We fell in love with the place. I bought the lease from the U.S. government.
And now these are your islands. No government but Skeltec.
Well, avoiding government regulation was a factor.
Oh, I'll bet it was. I met a lot of Skeltec employees who are mad at you.
The outcasts. Sentinel hasn't taken care of them yet?
They're naive, but they can learn. They can do some good for the island.
They're small-minded, fearful. If they think the world is going to destroy them, it will.
Well, we need them, so maybe we can change their minds.
Some people don't change, Nomad.
But some of them do. You healed up from the bombing attack? I mean, in your head?
Yeah, well, I had to deal with the aftermath. First team to inspect the site. I still remember all those broken windows, shattered shards of glass. I kept thinking, we can fix those, we can fix those. I got the windows fixed, but I stopped scheduling non-vital meetings in the Skell Foundation head office. It's different than when you see something on TV. It's just reporters and sirens. It's the smell. So acrid it singes your nostrils, like the energy around you has been sucked away, you know?
Yeah, I do.
And the bombers were never caught. We never knew if another one was coming. We suspected the outcast, but now that Sentinel's taken over, I wonder.
You're the one who asked Sentinel to step in.
Yeah, that's on me.
When did you get away from using dollars?
You like the Screds?
I don't understand them.
They're a cryptocurrency. As much as we could, we wanted to get away from the control of international banking.
But it's a made-up money.
All money is made up. It only has value because we all agree on it as a medium of exchange. Everyone in Aurora agrees to use Screds. And Skeltec makes sure to create a limited supply.
So if we all agree to use your play money instead of dollars, the economy still works the same way?
Money's only worth what you think it's worth.
My mind blown. Listen, I get that Maddox isn't exactly warm and friendly, but why do people hate her?
They don't hate her as much as they fear humanity's evolutionary destiny.
Whoa, that's a little intense. Even for you.
Grace Maddox is in charge of Skeltec's transhumanist research, Project Deus. Yeah, on a personal level, she's not, fun.
Yeah, she's also really into herself.
Sure, she's really effective. I gave her a huge budget. She wants more.
You give it to her?
Ayana Puri, my CFO, wouldn't let me. So Maddox cut costs. Instead of spending the time to perfect a true quantum computer, she developed a DNA-based computer that behaves like a quantum computer.
And you know what she's doing with that?
She plans to download her mind onto that computer. I know it sounds a little crazy and unbelievable, but someone will do it. And she should be first.
Sometimes it seems like Harmony's the only Skeltech kid in Aroa.
I don't know. We invited more people to Aroa who had children, but most of them turned us down. It was kind of great having Harmony around.
Well, I'm glad it worked out the way it did. There ain't so many kids out in Aroa for me to worry about.
Believe me, worrying about Harmony is enough.
You two seem to get along.
Yeah? She treats me like another kid. She's smart, but having her around helps me see things with new eyes.
But aside from her dad, she has no one else here?
No, just me.
You and Paula cool now?
I hope so. I've known her almost her whole adult life, you know?
You're kind of her mentor.
A mentor's more than a boss, more than a friend even. I've guided her entire career. I don't want her to feel betrayed.
Well, she's here now. That's something. It's at least a start. You sure this virus is gonna work?
Absolutely. It's not a computer virus like any other. Yes, it will hack systems controlling a sector of drones, but this virus includes an evolutionary algorithm.
Machine learning backdoor malware? I like my attacks a little simpler.
But our opponent, the systems, they're too complex to come at them with anything less. But don't worry. Paul and I will make it work.
I hope so, genius. I hope so. So, what does a billionaire arms dealer do? You know, whenever he's not manufacturing killing machines.
Skeltech is responsible for an extensive catalog of inventions over the past decades.
I'm listening.
Our first economically viable autonomous machine was the Skel Farmer, a harvester capable of recognizing the range and ripeness of crops. Since then, it's found unintended utility in mining and forestry.
So explain to me how you got here. From farming drones to war machines.
Our next invention, the Skel Transporter, was the first affordable smart delivery device, a new standard in the industry. The Skel Doctor may interest you, an advanced cousin specialized to carry sensitive medical supplies. You could easily shoot one out of the sky to steal its payload.
Could be useful.
Our Cherubim City and Sky models behave like mobile CCTVs, capable of facial and behavioral identification, and alert authorities in real time. I suggest you steer clear of them if you want to move undetected.
I'll keep that in mind.
My point is that I have dedicated my life to improving the human condition and relieving the population from the crushing weight of repetitive work.
Well, let's see if we can make sure your legacy's intact at the end of this. Genius. I need you to tell me everything you can about all the lethal drones out there.
Of course. Anything I can do to help undo what I've done. It all started with two basic military training drones. The Incubus for ground and its airborne sister, the Succubus. They were then multi-purpose, giving birth to new models. Eamon and his flying sibling Murmur were taught to patrol areas in the wild. Ime and Malphus were designated for location defense. The meanest models were Andrus and Stalus, search and destroy drones that the wolves just love.
I'm sure they're all perfectly tailored for whatever Walker's got in mind. Go on.
Behemoths are massive tank-like machines with incredible firepower. You'll mostly find them guarding infrastructure and strategic assets. Azraels, on the other hand, are long-range, high-altitude spy drones. They're capable of recon over a wide array of land and utilize heat sensors and pattern recognition to identify threats and intrusions. They aren't very well suited for battle, though. They mostly just point out targets so that strike forces can do the dirty work.
Thanks, genius. Wish me luck. Explain something to me, this Titan program. Why in the hell would you think it was a good idea to build giant killing machines? Aren't lethal drones enough?
I recognize that smaller drones are already deadly and far more cost-efficient, but I was influenced.
Walker.
He was always complaining that the existing drones didn't have enough media presence. These days, wars are fought on television screens. He wanted Titans that could exude charisma and raise hope and simultaneously suffocate the spirit of a nation.
Sounds charming.
I find that once I'm given a task, my inspiration is fueled by the vacuum. I knew that what Walker wanted was entirely unnecessary for counterterrorism, but I got carried away. Now I shudder to imagine what he intended the whole time.
You're not the only one. I need more about Paula Madeira. How long have you known her?
Years. I hired her right out of grad school. Actually, she was still in grad school. She was only 20, but she was just so smart. I knew that with her, I could lay the foundation of Skeltech's advanced drone program.
But are you friends? Was there something else going on, or what? There's something here I'm missing.
I think hiring her so young, she never really learned the art of adapting. She didn't like working with Walker. I could have handled her differently. I know I need to talk to her about that.
You didn't answer my question.
It hurt. She was so special and one of the first to truly believe. And in hindsight, she was also right. She saw right through Walker. She was immune to his charm. And I was deaf to her warnings.
Genius. What's this thing keeping people in Aroa?
The drone perimeter. We're calling it Operation Citadel. I think Walker came up with the name.
Any weak spots?
The perimeter is made up of different interlocking sectors, and each sector has its own drone swarm. Each swarm is managed by an AI that runs through a local relay terminal.
I could see that system working for surveillance, but it took out my chopper without firing a shot.
The swarms, they're made up of dozens of miniature drones that act in unison, like a flock.
You made an artificial bird strike.
No. We made artificial birds to do the job of bees. Pollination. It's Stone and Walker who militarized our swarms to create a deadly shield perimeter. Who thinks like that?
People after power. Skeltech needs to start thinking more like its clients. How well did you know Walker?
Well, we fixed things together. He was a military advisor brought in after the Skeltech bombing. We were still in mourning for the friends we lost, and then this hero shows up. He was magnetic, charismatic, you know? Like a TV star or something.
Yeah. That guy could charm the fleas off a dog. He kind of changed after he left the unit.
He never spoke about it.
Well, it's top secret. Let's just say it wasn't pretty. Fox called you his best friend.
Yeah, I never thought about it, but I guess he's mine too.
Times like this, you can count your real friends on one hand. You known him a while? You a buddy from college or something?
No. A few years ago, I hired him as a consultant. He was working on the problem P versus NP.
That literally means nothing to me.
It's a math problem. One of the math problems. But Fox was just so enthusiastic about everything, I widened the scope of his role. He was involved in every non-military project Skeltech had.
He's a good guy to have around.
Absolutely.
Hey, genius. I always thought you were more of a pacifist. Gotta say, though, it's a damn shame you had to start making lethal drones.
I was naive, I guess. I always hoped for the best out of people, you know? When a bomb goes off and I meet the wrong person at the worst time, I bought their logic that if you want peace, carry a big stick line of reasoning. Stone even said, doesn't God have his avenging angels guarding the gates of paradise? I never felt right here. We're building heaven on earth. And we're not gods.
Is that why you kept it secret? Project Omega? Because, you know, some people might look at it as a PR shield, keeping the image of a pacifist while making money on weapons.
PR is important, but you don't wear a seatbelt because you're planning to get into a car crash, right?
You have to be cautious.
Right.
I've been wondering, when did you start working on your killer drones?
About 1 year ago, after the Outcast bombing, let Miles convince me to begin the Omega Project. I was terrified. I wasn't seeing things clearly. Certainly not the possibilities of the Omega Project.
Don't give me that. I met your director of R&D in Bolivia back in 2019. Daniel Rodriguez Arellano. He was working as a double agent for Unidad and the CIA.
Yes, fine. I remember him. He was a brilliant engineer who fell in with some undesirables in his home country and began leaking intelligence about secret technologies. I offered him a safe haven for his family, hoping that it would put a stop to the leaks. But Daniel was greedy. He seemed to thrive on his double life. What does it prove?
I had no idea you were so well-informed. But then you ought to know about the Omicron Project blueprints that Daniel was carrying. The Incubus drone hasn't changed much since 2019. Seems to me you had a pretty clear vision of the Omega Project before you even set up shop in Aroa.
Fine. The idea of lethal drones isn't a new one. Quite the opposite. I've been working on the concept for more than a decade. But I was only ever concerned with what was possible. It was just an equation like any other. After I'd solved the design and engineering issues, I buried my work and steered the company as far away from weapons manufacturing as I could.
But when Miles gave you an excuse to dust off your plans, you couldn't resist.
I suspect our friend Daniel smelled a big score. He stole the blueprints and tried to sell them to his associates, which would have been catastrophic.
You're the one who pointed Daniel to Bowman. You had him killed.
That's ridiculous. Who do you think I am? I gave Daniel a push, but I had no idea what would happen. Look, I brought his family to Aroa. They still live in a house in Liberty, to this day.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, genius. Stay out of trouble.
Focus is my forte.
Shits.
I ran into a swarm of skell pollinators yesterday. Have you seen those little fuckers? Hey, I get we have to fight Sam. I heard there was trouble at the farms. What's going on?
Can't keep dodging it.
I'll see you around.
You be safe out there.
Yes, ma'am.
Skell employees, they're kids. Tech kids. They can't mount any kind of resistance. The outcasts are fighting, but they can hear the same
We gotta get the stables fixed before any of the animals get out. Let's all grab our tools and get on it. See you at the homestead.
You take care of your people like a good NCO.
They're their own people. We've no leaders here. Even so, I guess most people do look to me.
Probably what Uncle Sam saw in you, I'd bet. Where'd you serve?
26 Expeditionary. I was infantry in Liberia and the Balkans. UN support off the Somali coast.
NCO pension didn't suit you?
I got tired of fighting over oil. So when the good old US of A stopped pretending we had any other purpose, so did I. Served out the rest of my enlistment and decided to stay.
You said Maria's your old lady?
I'd jump into fire for that woman.
You met here? On a row?
She moved here as a child. She was about 20 when we got together. Some people find me prickly, if you can believe that. But she saw right through me. I've been searching my whole life for someone like her. She's as responsible for our success as Rowan and me.
How come you didn't mention the outcast before?
Outcasts. They're just disgruntled Skeltech folks, having an attack of conscience. They mostly just make noise, loud protests and theatrics.
Haven't you got an enemy in common?
Whatever Skell does to the rest of the world's got nothing to do with us. And if the outcasts have something they want to atone for, that's their business. We were here before all of them, and we'll be here after.
Looks like the outcasts are just stupid protest kids with too much high explosive.
What are you talking about?
They never meant to kill anyone.
Is that supposed to be an excuse?
They're trying to make up for what they've done.
Good for them. But there's still plenty of hell to pay before they break even in my book.
They got people everywhere. You got people here. We need them. They'll get better.
I hope so.
You think Hector's gonna be okay?
He won't be any worse than the rest of us.
If you get a hair up your ass and want to head out there...
Hey, we're families, not fighters. I'll get word to the other homesteads, see if they want shelter. I need you to play offense.
At least Layla's safe.
God knows what Coleman's doing to get our location out of those boys. I should have convinced them to come back here.
Hey, I tried too. And whatever happens, you've got my help. Between Stone, Walker, and Paula Madeira, Jay Skell doesn't seem that good at keeping friends.
Nope.
I guess a rich guy like that, big tech boss, everybody must be wanting something from him.
Maybe. But if folks keep turning on you, sooner or later you gotta ask yourself what part you played.
Nah, you got used.
Dr. Madeira seems to feel like she's the one got used.
She's an engineer, so she's not a doctor.
Does that mean she's wrong?
I guess not. Did you hear? Jay Skell's been bleeding cash trying to cure the disease that Paula's husband got.
I don't get why that's a big deal.
Nobody's tried to cure it before because not enough people have it. Jace could spend millions on a cure and never see a profit.
Well, I guess he never did seem like a money-grubbing Scrooge.
I'll tell you, AI is running way too much out there.
When people started putting it all over their homes, that Internet of Things crap, that's when all doubt about homesteading left my mind.
We're 2 steps away from letting AI make all the big decisions.
Who do you think is making all them micro trades that move the stock market up and down? Who do you think decides if you get that home loan? Who analyzes all the population data that decides government policy?
You've thought about this.
Maybe you should think about it more. How much AI are you carrying onto the battlefield?
You expect a lot more of your people will find their way here?
There's plenty of room.
A lot of folks living in a confined space. Leaves a big signature. It's hard living on the run. Hiding, living in fear. You're doing right by them.
We take them in, we leave them in the wild, same thing. Everything's a risk. At least here, I know people are getting what they need. It ain't perfect, I know. But it's the best solution I got for now.
I don't get how the drones aren't seeing you here.
Well, that's all Jericho. Set up special nets at the openings that hide us from the sensors. Cave walls, take care of the rest. It's a little smarter than I am, so I'll let you ask her if you need more technical details.
Yeah, thanks. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Hey, I get we have to fight Sentinel, but I just don't see how it goes down. Kind of resistance? The outcasts are fighting, but they came here the same idealistic, tech-obsessed kids. Sentinel is a trained army.
I'll see you later.
Cool. The battlefield will need more blood. Makes the green grass grow, right?
This shit with Walker has my head spinning.
I still can't believe it.
What if it was him all along?
What do you mean?
What if Walker was the target?
That's...
Think about it. They send us to find a missing ship. Conventional guys can do that. Shit, even the Coast Guard. But why us?
Jesus.
They've had a hard-on for him since the Middle East, and you know it. And now he's here? It just doesn't add up.
Yeah, but Walker? He's just...
I saw him. I saw him do it. Smoke ghosts just like they were any other assholes.
But they'd have said something.
Would they? They know our history.
Christ. Give me the good old days when a bad guy was a bad guy. You just knew. This is friggin' whacked.
Man. No, Weaver was a good dude.
I'll say. He didn't take a dump without checking his gear.
Well, he didn't take any chances.
How'd he do it?
Don't.
How did he do it?
He executed him. Like he was some rabid dog.
Backstabbing piece of shit.
I wonder if Midas made it.
That dude crossed the border outside Juarez, blackout drunk in ranger panties and flip-flops. If anyone can hold it together out here, it's him.
God, you remember that?
If he's out there, we got a shot.
Maybe.
Give me the three of us. You, me, Midas. We'll find that piece of shit, Walker. Run him right into the ground. We got to. For Weaver.
You're not exactly in fighting shape right now, man. You gonna be able to walk again?
I better. This ain't no way for me to go out.
You get some rest, pal. This is a pretty fancy setup for some backwoods yokels.
You're telling me. I've seen a lot of this stuff before, like in army hospitals, if you get my drift.
Wouldn't doubt it.
This is as good as any med hooch we've ever had.
Yeah, well, all things being equal, I'd rather be in one of our camps. At least I'd know I signed up for it. How you holding up?
Shit, man, I'm golden. Hang on, I've been working on my dance routine.
You probably need to get out of that bed first.
Yeah, my audition at Juilliard may have to wait.
I hope you have a backup plan. 'Cause that leg's done.
This is killing me. I'm useless here.
You've helped these people.
Sure, I talked them through some guard rotations and security protocols, but still.
We're all doing what we can. I'd rather have you in the fight, but at least I know this place is locked down.
I just can't stand thinking I'm slowing you down.
And I'm just glad you're still around to bug the shit out of me.
Bite me.
I must be some kind of idiot.
Dude, you couldn't have seen Hill switching sides like that.
No, I should have seen that coming.
That shit is on him, not you. He made his choice.
How did things get so screwed up?
I can't begin to answer that. So what now?
We got Skell. He's here.
I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but that guy...
What?
I'm just saying. I don't trust him.
Yeah, well, what choice do we have? He says he's got a plan to get control of the drones.
I'll bet he does.
Well, we gotta do something. We got a real problem, man.
What, we out of sour mix?
I mean it. These wolves, they're not regular nuggets.
Yeah, people talk around here. Everyone's scared shitless of them. Harbingers of doom, they say, yada, yada, yada.
They knew everything I was doing. They're trained, just like us. I can only guess they're Walker's new people.
Well, that's not good.
No, it's not. They're ghosts, without the constraints.
I'll go find the sour mix.
I'm tired.
I keep thinking about Bolivia.
Bolivia?
Yeah, dude. That goat rope in the jungle, shitty intel, no support, damn near got our asses shot off.
Ah, the good old days.
I mean, I get it. Tell us just enough to get the job done. Fine. I accepted that a long time ago. But this is next level shit. I thought Bowman was shady.
Bowman was shady.
Yeah, but everything about this just stinks. I can't shake the feeling that they knew what was happening here. They knew and they didn't say shit.
Tell me about it. You have feelings about all this. I can tell.
You know me, man. I hate everything.
That's not gonna cut it. Seriously, talk to me.
We're not a solution anymore, man. We're a means to an end, and that end is usually some CIA bullshit, like El Sueño. We get in the shit, go after some guy so they can cut a deal with him. It's bullshit, and you know it.
What's that got to do with...
Whatever's here on this island, we're not here to kill it. They sent us here to pretty it up and package it out. For them. They're just gonna cut some deal and put this to work for them. Like always.
I don't understand. How does Skell fit into this?
I don't know. I don't have any answers, but I'll tell you someone who does.
Walker. I didn't think things could get much worse in Bolivia, you know? I thought those crazy mercs were the toughest guys we'd ever see.
Remember those little scamps? What fun.
We knew the cartel was hiring former special forces, but damn.
Right? With their bake sales and PTA meetings.
You ever stop being a smartass?
Nope.
Well, bad as those guys were, these wolves might be a whole lot worse. They're trained, by Walker. This isn't gonna be easy.
It never is. That's why they send us.
Yeah, right. With our broken legs and all our gear blown up.
Now who's a smart ass?
Remember Twitch?
Twitch. Holy shit, she'd be having a field day out here.
I know. Wish we had her here now. She's supposed to be the best in the world with drones. And she must know a lot about scale technology.
You think she'd dig this? Killer drones and a private army on the loose?
I just know we could use her help on this. You're not exactly walking too well, so fighting killer drones is gonna be tough.
That is not nice. See if I make you a margarita now.
You remember Silent Spade?
Unidad's attempt to become a nuclear power. No, I never heard of it.
Wasn't Skeltech a part of all that? I mean, I keep remembering this one warehouse. I swear I saw Skell logos all over the place. God damn it, It's fuzzy, but I'm sure it was.
Doesn't that seem a teensy bit out of line with their mission statement? Nukes?
Maybe they didn't know. Maybe Unidad was misusing their technology. Maybe it was all bullshit. Or maybe Skeltech isn't what everyone thinks it is.
I better not get nuked on this tiny little piece of shit island. I'm serious. I will be very upset if I do.
We're well beyond nukes, I think. It's a new century. War's evolved. I'd worry about something more subtle, or way more dangerous. Whatever that looks like. Seriously, man, you need to recover. You're way better with drone technology than I am. I need you out there.
Well, you're just gonna have to suck it up, Buttercup. Maybe if you had paid attention in cross-training.
I did, asshole. But it's your specialty. I'm just not as good with those things.
We all have our part to play, right? You've got your wheelhouse, and we all stay pretty much out of your way when you're working. That's how this goes. Keep pushing yourself with new challenges. Learn everything you can. Rally other folks to fill in the gaps.
That's great and all. But I still need you, man.
Aw, you like me. You really like me.
I don't know why I bother.
Brother, I know what you're doing, and I appreciate it. I do. God knows I feel useless as hell holed up here. You're just gonna have to find another me. I know what you're doing, and I appreciate it. I do. God knows I feel useless as hell holed up here. You're just gonna have to find another me.
Another you. Like that could possibly exist anywhere.
Aw, I may cry.
Go to hell. Later, brother.
Later.
one seen Carl in 2 days.
You think they took him too?
I don't know. He's an ass, but he doesn't deserve that. Have you tried to go back to your place?
God, no. I don't want to leave Erwin, even for a minute.
I'm telling you. Well, me either.
Get with
But
the
someone's gonna have
outcast.
to. We have dozens of people to feed, and all the farms are abandoned.
Is that what they want? To starve us out?
I don't know, but unless we figure something out, that's what we're looking at.
What's up with this virus that's coming? You think it's real?
I don't know. That bee outbreak turned out to be a trap. Maybe this isn't any different.
Maybe they're just trying to lure us in for vaccines, so they can grab us like the others.
Problem is, if it is real, us crammed into these caves, it'll tear right through us.
Gotta hope Schultz has thought of all of this. He's led us this far. He found this place, right?
I'm getting antsy. Let's cause some trouble.
Have a little job for you. Something I think you'll like. Seems only right given this whole mess is your fault.
You still think Sentinel is doing this because of me? Ah, whatever. I'll bite. What's the job?
Track down one of the Sentinel captains responsible for taking my people. Sentinel needs to learn. If they mess with us, they end up in an unmarked grave in the jungle.
I can do that.
Get prepped. Bring along anyone you want. These Sentinel captains don't go down easy.
I wasn't raised to blindly trust anyone, but I'm not sure we have a choice right now.
Shoot those assholes! Shoot them! Keep looking. They're out here. We gotta find them. I know you're here. Shit. Come out. Contact, guys. We got trouble. Guys, heads up, keep an eye out. We got enemy activity in the area. Let's take a look. I know those shits are out here. Get out here. They gotta be survived.
Find them, damn it!
We got shots fired! Shots fired!
Roger that. We are ready for them.
Hello. No need to fear. Hey, wait. Don't be afraid. I just want to talk.
What do you want?
I'm looking for Silverback.
You don't find Silverback. He finds you. He comes around a lot taking people away who aren't pulling their weight. A few days later, we'll find photos of their corpses.
Appreciate your help.
Just stop with this shit, okay?
I'm busy.